Hopefully my microphone ends up recording, cause that'd be great. Because then I'll be able to see how my microphone seems afterwards. Can't. What am I gonna do? Oh, I gotta remember. I can't swear due to. Actually, no. Never mind. My channel I don't have monetization like that, so it doesn't really matter. God damn it, I'm gonna end up building this place from complete scratch, so what else am I gonna need? Well, I'm not really too worried about the challenges at the moment. I'll get myself one of those. Probably gonna need a shovel. Maybe a pickaxe. Probably just an axe, doesn't really matter. Just resources. Okay. Level 5 mining helmet doesn't really matter. I'm only using it so that way I could see. I'm also going to want to find a place to be able to go to, so I'm going to learn some, well, a recipe, specifically the mini bike one. And that's about it. I think I want at the moment. Yeah. Actually, no. I want to read that. I want to wear that. Gotta come back this way. What else? Yeah, I need to grab the item specifically, so I could craft a mini bike. I'm actually surprised I got so many high level pieces. It's not really too much of a problem. Okay, that's nice. Not really a whole lot of a problem. It's just the fact. If it was high level to low level, it's mostly the battery and the engine. And that's only because, for one, durability is better. Two, they go for longer without having to be refilled. And the fact of that, it goes a little bit quicker. What's that? Drop the loot. That's a cobweb. I want to open it up. Touch everything. But stick drift there. That kind of sucks. Equip everything. I don't really need the padlock considering I'm playing offline, but refuel it. Put the rest of the fuel into the bike, as well as if I could fit all the frames in there, that'd be great. No, I won't end up fitting them all in there, but at least that's better. Now, I'm gonna end up building this thing from complete scratch, so I don't know what they end up giving, what resources they're giving you. 50 iron. I'm gonna end up getting. I don't really need the stuff, but it's always nice to see what you can get. Drop that, but I'll take the water. jeez. Now, wait, is that a bag? Yeah. Ah. Okay. Like some stuff will end up coming useful later, but for the most part, these sort of things aren't really much of a problem, and I'm not really going to come around this area because it's the dead zone. So, where am I looking at? How's the map looking? I got off the run. What's the map looking like? I am 204 north and I'm pretty far east, so I can start going south a bit. I guess continue going north for like a decent distance, but I probably want to start going south. Yeah. So if I just go, since I got the mini bike, not really much of a point of just following the road. So if I go from, okay, so if I jump on the mini bike. Right, and I head behind me, I think. Yeah, south. And this is a house. Well, that was unfortunate. I did not mean to drive up here, but I'm glad to say taking a house off my bike and crashing into shit. I have not used this mini bike much. Oh dear. So I'm thinking maybe grassy area or like the desert. Well, here's the desert. If I can find a flat enough area, I can. Ah, that's a cactus. Ow. Okay, more cactus. Well, I think it's technically cacti, but there's a lot of them, so it's just cactus, I guess. I don't really know, and I don't care too much about the proper definition between cactus and cacti. I'm gonna end up, like, this is gonna end up being probably permanent. I don't know what that sound is. I think it might be a spider's. It couldn't be a spider zombie, because the zombies is disabled at the moment for me. Just mainly due to the fact of being I'm doing a build and not an actual survival. If I'm doing an actual survival, which I'll probably end up doing eventually, honestly, one thing I'm not the biggest, like, I'm not overly worried about, but I'd like, you know, is obviously to gain a little, like, even some notoriety would be cool, you know. Obviously, it's unexpected, but, like, because it's not even, like, the reason I'm talking about notoriety is not even the fact that I want people to, you know, I want, you know, a big fan base. It's the fact that I like when people can enjoy stuff I create. Because it's a nice feeling. Not gonna lie, you know. Knowing something that you've done has helped someone is that kind of cool. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up building this bridge to the cliff. Probably like, I'm not bringing this one up a couple out to the cliff. Hello. I need to bring it. So, okay, so place one there. One there. Here. Up. Then up. Here. Okay. So, I'm gonna end up going like this. I'm gonna now put one below as well. There. Talking up. Get to a certain height. Orb man. So, I like how, I'm sorry that the fact that I said base building, like half of it's building a fucking bridge, but, currently building a bridge, but, you know, it's not like, I'm not gonna end up building a base. It's because what I'm kind of trying to do, due to the fact of not having a console, having any way of editing, I'm trying to put the main subject of what my video is about first, and then, you know, however it goes, because, well, as we all know, in 7 Days to Die, even if you spawn into another game, if you've ever played 7 Days, there's no guarantee of where you're going to spawn. And unlike on PC, the creative console, creative console on this is not as in depth as the one on PC is. So, simple fact being, you don't get all the benefits that PC would, in that sense. Right, so a lot of my stuff is, at least especially at the moment, it's going to be pretty raw cut stuff, due to the factor of not having a way to edit my videos. But if I did, I would, otherwise, but yeah. I'm working on it, due to, well, I'm not, you know, stuff like that, you know, not really rich, you know, don't have real money or stuff like that, you know, you know, it'd be nice to have fucking millionaire money, but can't, but not everybody can have that, can they? Some people could dream, but all I end up hoping to achieve is having enough to support myself and hopefully future family or some shit like that. Yeah, the problem is there's not a whole lot of jobs for people like me. In that sense. For the most part, we either become tradies or stuff like that. Being a tradie's not bad though. I know some really good tradies and they get paid decently well, especially if they're good at what they do. And also being a tradie, it's just very useful to do. Considering just being a tradie is, man, you don't really need much, you know, a whole lot of, you know, pre-planning to become a tradie for the most part. Like to become a scientist, you have to, well, be relatively intelligent, to be a proper scientist at least. You know, stuff like that. To be a comedian, you need to be funny. Even though comedy is subjective, you still have to be at least subjectively funny to someone. Or to a group of people. And like I can be pretty funny guy sometimes, but my comedy's also not the best type of stuff. You know, to say instead of a stand-up comedian being like, hey, you know, global warming, that's a thing. I'm more likely to be like, rave, that's a thing. But not like jokes about, you know, specific subject itself. It's more or less the factor of what type of joke can I make that's not like super insensitive, but also kinda it's funny enough to have people actually enjoy the joke. Right? But it's not to the point of, oh well, that's just kinda something, ain't it? But also not gonna lie, I'm not really not really the most sure about what I'm directly doing for the most part, except for, well, I'm trying to at least follow a sort of platform style with trying to not copy anybody, because like kind of what inspires me to do this type of stuff is, well, you got Glock 9's House Flipper on 7 Days to Die, then you got the with Glock 9 and Cap. I don't think Cap does the House Flipper style ones, but at least I know Cap does bloody, I'm trying to think what it is. I know he does the certain bases against a certain day horde. You know, because I'm not sure I've seen those ones from him before. And they have, because they've even done clearing the Shung Tower and stuff like that. So that was a pretty cool one. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad to gain a little bit of notoriety, considering, well, it'd be interesting. It'd be a different experience, but I feel like any YouTuber, especially that goes into something thinking they're gonna get notoriety, never gets anywhere. Because people just end up not caring as much about their stuff as they used to before they started becoming kind of fame obsessed. Because I know I'm one of those type of people that if I see like a YouTuber that I like start, you know, taking this fame as a warranted thing and not just a it's like they need notoriety, or like the notoriety, they deserve that notoriety, because theoretically no one deserves anything that they don't directly own themselves. Because theoretically, notoriety, even though it is based on one person, you need other people to give you that notoriety. So, that feeling you feel is yours, but the notoriety itself has to be given to you from another person. Which, it's kind of like a Christmas present, you know, especially as you get older. Christmas presents are normally, they're something that people do, and people give. But no one turns around to someone and just like, hey, you have to buy me a Christmas present, if you don't, fuck you. Because for one, that's just not the way that should work at all. But also due to the fact of being, like obviously there are people that would be that petty and scummy, but I'm not really. At least I don't like to see myself as a petty and scummy person. Bit of dry throat, eh? The main reason is because I don't intentionally try and do shit to, like, specifically hurt someone, that, unless it's, like, deserved, in that sense. Because, like, if I see someone, I don't know, saying kitty diddling's a good thing, then I'm gonna have a say about that, or I'm gonna poke a bit of fun at them. Not due to the factor of, well, who they are specifically, it's just the factor that they think kitty diddling's a good idea. But even then, like, even that type of person deserves a little bit of respect in a certain sense. Due to the fact of being, I can make, like, say if I was to turn around to someone that said kitty diddling was okay, and instead of sitting down and be like, bro, you need to rethink your shit. And if I immediately went to just directly attacking him, well, that wouldn't really solve much. Because, like, yeah, I'd probably be in the right for attacking the dude, in like, not even physically, like, verbally attacking the dude and going after the dude. It still wouldn't necessarily be the right way of going about it. Due to the fact of being, well, let's say one of those type of people, again, it's kind of a similar thing to the way, counter-argument ends up explaining it with Pachinarchi. Right? It's less about the fact that you agree with the person, and more a factor about the fact that once you attack them speaking out by themselves, what's to stop them speaking out in bigger numbers? Right. And one of the big things of that is, like, take for example in a punch a Nazi, right? For punching a Nazi, if you think they're a Nazi, right? Take well, you've got your fucking white power motorcycle groups, right? And imagine if instead of these people speaking out solo, they spoke out when they spoke out, they had a bunch of those type of people with them. I don't think people would be as keen to punch a Nazi. And also the factor being, it's not even the factor that they'd be less keen to punch them. It would give those type of groups, like any sort of white power group or anything like that, right, that actually wants to do bad shit to people of color or just anything like that, or doesn't believe what they believe. Instead of giving them, let's say, an extra reason to group up, instead, what might be a better idea is, instead of directly physically assaulting or verbally abusing them or something like that, it might be a more beneficial idea to just try and explain how it's try and explain how it's a bad thing or something like that. But and then if that generally doesn't work, and then they start being like, no, and then they start being aggressive towards you due to that, then I feel like that would be it wouldn't be the worst time to hit them. But due to the fact of being overly aggressive when you're not being aggressive in the first place. But the main problem with hitting them in that case would be, all you're really doing is putting yourself in a little bit of a legal hot zone. Because theoretically, assault's assault, no matter what, and unless they physically touch you, then you can't claim self-defense, because, well, you were not defending yourself. You were attacking someone. Yeah. So let's say if I was to walk up to a neo-Nazi and punch him in the face. Alright. Mind you, keep in mind, I've got, I'm both black and white, in my an ethnicity. Kind of got a little tongue-tied on that word. I hate getting tongue-tied, it sucks. But even then, I don't go around and be like, oh, I've got a little bit of black in me, so that means all black people's problems are my problems. No, I stay out of problems like that, because they're not. Well, for one, they're not my place to step into, and two, I've got no need, reason, or want to step into those situations. Firstly, I'm not the biggest fan of the Black Power movement and stuff like that, right? And the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. In the sense that the original movement was perfect. I love the original movement and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to say, you know, I was going to say big ups to Martin Luther King, but, like, you know, saying big ups in that sense would be a little bit, I seem a little bit, deemed a little bit disrespectful in a sense due to what he did. Because, honestly, what I reckon what Martin Luther King, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. I'm hoping it's Martin Luther King. Right, I because I get a little bit mixed up on his middle name. But I'm most sure I've got it correct. And what I see with what he did was he had something legitimate to fight for. What I see a lot of the Black Lives Matter and Black Rights activists now, I see a lot of, especially the internet, Twitter-based ones and stuff like that. They're not really striving for that much equality in the races, and more the fact that black people have it a little bit worse than white people. You know, the fact, well, not a little bit due to the fact of the thing, but the fact that black people have a harder time than white people, so black people deserve more shit than white people, right? Which, okay, if you've got payouts for being, you know, in a black, you know, in a slum or something like that, then cool, you know. All power to you, I'm not gonna dog you for it, because you do what you do. But the main part I see is the problem is half the time they do it over some of the dumbest stuff that actually doesn't matter or wasn't specifically a race issue to begin with. You know, because it just kinda is what it is. But also, again, I got a little sidetracked. The fact that what Martin Luther King did was pretty, you know, commendable and remarkable, especially during the times when, you know, during the times when black people weren't able to on the same buses and stuff like that as white people. Or if black people were on a bus and white people wanted to hop on, but the bus was full, the black people would be kicked off, forced to leave the bus, even if they paid. You know, even though they paid and stuff like that, which I don't reckon you should be able to do that to anybody. But just some of the stuff they're coming up with now, it just seems to me like they're trying to do the same thing white people were doing to black people at that time, but now. And I'm not trying to say all the people that are like Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, are negatively using bad intentions, but I know for a fact some of them are due to the fact that there's been physical, you know, videos, especially in the US, of a black well, I'll say an African American motorcycle gang, because I don't want to be called racist, even though I've got Indigenous Australian in me, which you know, natural skin colour of an Indigenous Australian is, you know, of an Aboriginal is black. But, you know, but, you know, people still like to call people racist without much forethought into who they call these racists and stuff like that. I've been called all the different things under the sun. I just kind of prefer to not really censor myself a whole lot, but I feel like if I do ever start probably getting into, especially doing shit on YouTube, stuff on YouTube, I'm gonna censor myself a little bit than what I normally am like, due to the fact of being, well, if I do ever eventually plan on making any sort of income from YouTube, even if it's only a slow side income, the video still needs to be monetizable. In the general fact of being. See, I didn't understand this at first, but then over the years I started watching people like Optimus and stuff, and when they were doing that sort of stuff with the monetization and stuff like that, it kind of opened my eyes a little bit more to what's actually going on with people getting monetized. And I've never had a video monetized before due to the fact that no subscribers and stuff, and no, pretty much not a whole lot of views and stuff like that. And I think I may actually have 2 subs now, maybe, but yeah. And I mainly do this so that way I've got something to do in my spare time when I'm either bored or not doing anything. And considering ended up getting a rake through my foot yesterday. And yeah, not, obviously not the best thing, straight off the bat, but it's fine due to the fact of being that's my foot and stuff can get fixed up. And also, when I started, especially this ain't even a new channel, it's technically an old channel just redone. And once I got into and started this channel, I didn't even really, when I started uploading was when, the Cold War Alpha, I only did, made my foot the wrong way. I only really did that so that way I could actually have a way of gauging my ability in the game. Damn it. Is that gonna even work? Not efficiently, no. So I'm just gonna end up popping down another mini bike. Theoretically, build the bridge across. I wouldn't even really need to build another mini bike. Due to I can go like this. And what recipes are with gasoline? Only a gas barrel. Okay. keep going this way. I'm hoping to find at least a bit of a clear there. Now, those screams, I doubt they're zombies due to the fact that I got zombies turned off due to building. I'm most sure they're probably rabbits screaming, which are odd. Because as well, if you've ever seen a rabbit in real life, you generally know they don't scream. So having screaming rabbits is a little weird. But ooh, actually, there is a town right here. Ah, I see what type of town it is. Oh, actually, if I build near here, that might not be too bad. I'll just build up over the mountain a bit. You know what, actually, this area around here just ain't the worst. I could start something here at least, so I wanna knock down the big shit that's in the way. I think first I'm gonna set up the perimeter for the first house. Okay. Run down this line to about, let's say, over here. That's on the direct line, right? Up there. I'm guessing. Just trying to make sure they're all on the same line. Otherwise, if they're not all on the same line, they're gonna stuff up a bit. Yeah, they're all lined up. Okay. They're not all perfectly lined, but that doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter if they're misaligned, the house ain't gonna be wonky, so... I actually don't even know how long the whole build will go. Cool. Hoping like the build isn't gonna be the longest build in the world. Yeah. But the build might end up taking a little bit. But properly do. Yeah. Like always. Stuff my mother builds every day, and I guess, well, Apolo Phillius will probably be built with, you know, might take more than, well, just straightened up. Maybe it might, because this mate, if I can at least get a couple of views on this, I'd end up making another video. Yeah, I guess even if I don't, I might end up making another video with 7 days. Because I'm just trying to go for stuff that not really too. Like, I'm not trying to go for stuff that would directly get me views, because, well, one, I don't have the ability to, and two, I'm not selling out like the specific YouTubers / creators, such as, well, very simple. The last thing I want to do is a Jake Paul or a Logan Paul, right? Where they just do really whatever the fuck they want for attention, right? Which I deem to be pretty scummy, but due to some of the stuff they do, but yeah, doesn't mean I believe they're bad people. Well, dependent. I don't know so much about Logan, but because it seems like since he's gotten a little bit better mindset, he's better people around him. It seems to not be the worst. So, especially not as he used to be. But the main problem with that is it could just be a whole ploy. You know, I don't seem like I'm the same sketchy, shady person that's willing to do sketchy, shady shit for to you know, to extend his 10 minutes of fame. But it could be a legitimate. I fucked up, but now I understand. And if it is one of those, then that's a good thing. But of course, it could always just be another ploy to get a bit of notoriety. Again, while trying to save his career. I found what he did pretty fucking shit despicable, but me personally, I wouldn't turn around and be like, oh no, we must cancel Logan Paul, because like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and make the excuse it was one mistake, you know. No, I believe in trying to let people at least learn from their mistakes. Like, if you make a mistake, that's fine, you can make a mistake, providing once you make. I don't know where mom's going. Okay. But yeah, the main thing I see is providing it's not just so he can save face sort of deal, or not have the backlash or what he did. Yeah, which again I can't say for certain because, well, he still talks to his brother, which I wouldn't say is the best person to be talking to if you wanna change how you used to act, considering he was kind of a little bit turned down version of Jake. Like, he was a bit more matured version of Jake. Right. Which makes sense, they're brothers. The only problem with it was being a little bit more matured version of Jake Paul. All that really meant was he had more of an understanding of what he was doing. Which, like, so understandably a bit more mature, but he still understood what he was he still had the ability to understand. And he did generally understand what he was doing was not okay. And even, you know, mind you, I'm not trying to say Jake Paul's a dumbass that doesn't know what he's doing or doesn't understand. Because he's an adult. He's not a child no more. Yeah, he ain't like 18, 19, you know. He's in his mid to late 20s, I'm not sure. You know, at least. But, you know, probably even closer to his 30s, probably, I don't know. But the main problem being, they don't seem to he understands, just doesn't seem to care. You know, I'm not gonna lie, he acts like you'd think a 17-year-old or something like that would act. Which, you know, it's kinda dumb in the sense that you'd expect a 17-year-old to have a bit more responsibility, maybe a bit more responsible than lighting their pool on fire, but, you know, 17, you know, I'm only really mainly saying 17-year-olds because, well, I'm guessing in a lot of places, you know, people below 17 aren't really throwing, like, super massive house parties and stuff, and lighting their pool on fire, you know. But it could just also be due to the place I'm in, being in Australia, or it could just be the fact that we do different shit than these guys do. Could even be the fact that you wouldn't expect anyway to light a pool on fire and stuff like that, which would make sense because it's kind of a dumb thing to do. You don't really have people doing a whole lot of that stuff here in Australia. Well, one, due to the fact that almost like literally like fucking like probably 10 out of 12 months of the year, sometimes a full 12 months, a complete national fire ban. Right. And so we're not really, no one's really lighting swimming pools on fire due to a national fire ban. That's pretty much just permanent at this point. I don't even remember a time when Australia, especially Queensland, didn't have it. Wasn't just fucking kept a fire ban up. Like, we do have dumb people, like people that throw cigarette butts out windows and stuff. Like I said, they're pretty stupid. 2, 3. Right. You have dumbasses everywhere. But you even have some of your dumb or like completely absurd Australians. Right. But we're not Jake Paul. We're not doing what Jake Paul does for the most part. Or at least because I'd love for most people to be able to find an article of an Australian guy lighting his pool on fire, faking marriages just so he can get a bit of internet fame, and being just generally known as a scumbag. There's even scumbags in Australia right now. Think, well, both Jake and Logan are scumbags. So it'd be very odd for people that think they're scumbags to follow them, considering that, well, they'd just be the exact same scumbag they think they are, right? For them, it wouldn't seem to be a very viable option, right? Well, that's generally why none of us are like, oh, Logan Paul did this, or Jake Paul did this, I'm gonna copy this. It's more or less, hey, they're two blonde idiots from Ohio in the US did something blatantly ridiculous and stupid again. Who would have known? Right. Because it's not like them doing dumb stuff's uncommon. It's not like only people in the US hear about them doing dumb stuff. Now, is there not, does that mean Australia's free from dickheads and people that do retarded shit? Nah. Just most of those type of people aren't, well, the type of people that are, most of them aren't lighting the pools on fire and shit like that. Like, we've got pretty dodgy and shitty politicians, but they're not letting their swimming pools on fire in their multi-million-dollar mansion, surrounded by more multi-million-dollar mansions. And possibly ruining other people's million-dollar mansions. Especially around here, someone tries to do something like Jake Paul did around all those houses are going up in flames. Not a whole lot anybody can do about it due to the fact of being, it's the way it works here in Australia. Once the wind catches a flame, the flame just fucking takes off. For the most part, there's no stopping it. And that's why, especially bushfires over here, take so long to die down. Is because, well, there's also a lot of fuel over here for those fires. And like, that's why you see most of the bushfires be in more, drier areas rather than up north where it's much lusher and greener. due to, well, there's less for it to catch on up there, where there's more for it to catch on there near. Because up there in like Cape York, up around tip of Australia, Cape York and stuff like that, there's just more, there's more, not even really water, because it could be pretty dry up there. Just the plants are much more, they're dampened a lot more due to the way it works, especially here in Queensland. Depending where in Queensland, depends what season depending when's the wet season, when it rains the most. If you're further north in Queensland, the further you are north, the closer it is to summer, when you get your heavy rains. The further south you get, the closer it is to the closer it is to winter, when you will start getting those heavy rains. And normally. And the problem is, the wet season in Cape York can last it can last the whole of summer. From December all the way through to the end of February. And then eventually starts drying up. Yeah, it's not directly raining for that whole time, but it'd be probably raining for like maybe 2 out of the 3 months. Cause microfloods and stuff up there, which then cause the soil to get most of the trapping most of the moisture into the ground, which would then also cause problems. No. Right, and even though that would start causing problems, it's much better for the environment. I don't know, this may end up being a multi-game stream. I don't think it will though. Might do another. I'm probably gonna be streaming a bit more, especially with my because I've injured my foot. But that's mostly since I can't really walk a whole lot without being in pain, and I've got a hop everywhere. But this base build will probably be for the most part, maybe. Depending on how it looks and how I feel about it, I may end up just building, actually stuff like that. Because my whole plan is having like a compound style thing. Hence the name, instead of it being my base or something like that, it's Apolo Phillius, because, well, even though it's probably something I'm only ever going to be able to enjoy, like physically playing the game, it's still intriguing. It's kind of like how Cap and Glock do named series and themed series. Ghost Town, Horde every night, House on the Hill, Cabin in the Woods and stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. And kind of what I'm going for as well. Except for, I don't really have the ability to do what they do. Because again, non-PC, I don't get the same, abilities to change stuff as well as they do. And also, end up being in a lower alpha game station then, considering I'm in the alpha. Console 7 days to die. It's still alpha 15 or 16, where PC is currently up to alpha 19, so like 4 or 5 alphas ahead of us. So 3 or 4 alphas ahead of us, actually. Because the alpha 20 ain't out yet. Well, I don't know when alpha 20 is coming out, probably sometime next year. Which I wouldn't be like too upset if they once they brought it out, they brought out next brought out the console update next year. Well, that also would depend if it's gonna be an update or you're just gonna have to rebuy the game. Right. I wouldn't, like, if we had to rebuy the game, but you already, I feel like if they made it where you had to rebuy the game, but you already owned the game, at least give them, like, a discount or something like that. Unless they did it another way, where all the accounts they had, prior on console, where they've got a little bit of a smaller fan base, and not buying it afterwards. You generally get something like a skin or something cosmetic, or like something they could craft. Like, let's say, when you buy Fallout first, right? If you play Fallout 76, you buy Fallout first, you get some cosmetic items. Which are cool because they're only cosmetic, there's no real, like, important buff. You don't really end up getting any buffs or anything else really except for a cosmetic difference with it, because, well, it'd be broken otherwise. Now, right, and theoretically they had no so they were trying to at least give you something back for what you paid, which is cool. Yeah, but at least I haven't gotten the most done. Literally, I've gotten the foundations, the base done. That's it. In like an hour and something minutes. But I was also trying to find the location. Which, if I already had the location picked out, or I spawned in that better location, it would have taken. I wouldn't have taken me so long. Or if I was able to edit, I'd edit out the part of me building the bridge and break my leg and stuff, a bit of failing, but I don't mind, considering I can't afford a whole lot at the moment. I don't mind having it a bit raw, in the sense of I don't have the ability to edit, so that's not looking the worst. I don't have the ability to edit the video, so building. I'm not a very good singer, but building. I'm building. Do. I could play some music, but don't really need to. Actually, I know what I could do later. I could do a Borderlands 1 stream. That could be cool. I haven't done a Borderlands 1 stream before. Yeah, so that first bit of the wall's done. Yeah, up to the height with that. Right. way, this way. And think this is probably going to be good. I may end up doing a bonus one like extreme high though. I'm hoping the audio quality is pretty good. I'm hoping it's decent enough, considering I'm using my headset to speak through my actual microphone. Definitely, if you're recording commentary, you should, or anything with your voice, you should probably be, probably have a decent microphone. Well, I wanted to give it a spin for a little bit, but actually, I'm not. Because my original microphone videos, I got rid of the audio for the fact that they were really bad and stuff like that. Not the best, but it's better than nothing. At least I got something done. What am I gonna need now? Doors. Definitely want doors. I'm also gonna end up needing bars. I'm starting to realise there's decent segments of this where I'm not talking at all. But oh well. No, I didn't want that place then, did I? You know, I think that will do for now. Yeah, pretty decent setup, I reckon. It's not finished, but that should hopefully be good. Like an hour and something minutes, ain't bad. Alright.